Hello everyone and welcome to Mountain Lake Journal. I'm Tom Halleck. This week, New York public schools could soon join other states in banning cell phones in the classroom.
I just met with parents, educators, local leaders, advocates, to hear from them about the challenge of cell phones in schools and how they impact our children's education.
In a speech this past week, Governor Hochul pointed to mounting concerns over students' mental health, their ability to stay focused in the classroom, and the increase in the number of fights between students due to social media. Hochul is using the statewide listening tour to get feedback from families and school officials and parents, and to begin crafting a plan to present to lawmakers as she moves forward on a potential ban.
2 years ago, I started holding mental health listening sessions with teenagers to find out why the rates of suicide, depression, anxiety were so high for them. We came to the conclusion that addictive social media algorithms were affecting the mental health of children and teens in a significant way. In fact, the Surgeon General of the United States came to the same conclusion. Last month, I signed into law 2 bills that protect our children from these addictive feeds. That's what brings me here to today. That is our methodology. That's how we can kickstart the conversation with a similarly thoughtful plan around cell phones in our schools. I saw a statistic last month that I haven't been able to forget, that 72% of teachers across the nation report that cell phones are a major distraction for students in their classrooms. Same study found that 95% of 13 to 17-year-olds have access to smartphones, and they're receiving over 250 notifications per day on average. This generation, more than others, is being subjected to distractions that never existed the way they are now.
Hochul says more than 70% of teachers across the country report that cell phones are hindering students' ability to learn in the classroom.
I think that students have the tendency to grossly misuse them, and that leads to overall less productivity in classrooms, but I don't think banning them is the way to go about fixing that.
Rachel Finley, a senior at Beekmantown High School, says she recognizes how cell phones can distract her fellow students, but she says she's worried a potential ban in the classroom could create problems if a public safety emergency arises.
My biggest concern would be school shootings overall, just because of the fact that there have been threats at Beekmantown before. And it's not an irregular thing for students to joke about that, even though it's not a joke.
Others say parents could still get in touch with their kids by calling the school office. Francesca Bieber works at the high school in Plattsburgh and says she believes more can be done, but also recognizes why many parents may not want a ban.
I'm glad that the state is stepping in. It's an extreme a step at this point, but I think that our local high schools are kind of struggling a bit with that decision, knowing that it's probably something that should happen, but not quite sure if it's able to be implemented. I think that there's some pushback by parents, and I think that local administrators are a little concerned about that.
Plattsburgh School Superintendent Jay LeBrun says the district has a cell phone policy in place, but calls it imperfect. He says he hopes for a statewide policy that would give districts a consistent set of rules.